si dating Vice President Binay at si dating Vice President Robredo. Tanging si Vice President Sara Duterte lang po. Ang buhat po nung nag-assume ako nung 2014, tanging si Vice Presidente Sara Duterte lang po yung aking na-audit.
What's up mga kababayan, ph.trending here. Dito sa video natin ngayon ay ating panoorin itong Day 11 ng impeachment trial ng ating Vice Presidente na si Sara Duterte. Mula sa bibig mismo ng witness ng COA mga kababayan na tanging si VP Sara Duterte lamang ang nag-audit di umano sa COA mula 2014. Ibig sabihin mga kababayan, mula sa pagiging vice presidente ni Binay at ni Robredo, hindi di umano nagpasa ang mga ito. Kung kaya naman hindi maiwasang sabihin ng taong bayan na kaya nakatutok lamang kay VP Sara ang pag-audit ay dahil sa pamumulitika lamang di umano sa kanya na gusto nilang makonvict itong si VP Sara upang ma-disqualify na sa paghabol sa pagiging presidente sa taong 2028. Grabe naman yan. Pero bagong lahat huwag niyo po sana kalimutang mag-like at subscribe para updated ka sa mga uploads ko araw-araw. At yun na nga mga kababayan, tama nga naman na katakataka na itong si Binay at Robredo hindi sunuri ang mga auditing ng mga ito. Bakit itong si VP Sara ang kanilang focus? Kung kaya naman hindi ko na patatagalin pa, ito na ang buong video.
If I show you a document now entitled, and this for appreciation of the Honorable Senate Impeachment Court is being flashed on the screen with the permission of the presiding officer.
Council may do so and may proceed.
I'm showing to you now a document entitled the Joint Circular 2015, which for identification has been marked as Exhibit P-1-4 for the prosecution. -E. Showing to you this document, we have here, Your Honor, being assisted
Assisting
here
counsel
by
may approach.
our Associate Attorney Mark Penny.
Likewise, assisting counsel for the respondent may approach
Thank you, Your Honor.
the witness. While we're waiting, counsel, Attorney Kapunan, would you like to identify this document as previously marked so that we can have it on the record and for the reference?
Your Honor, please,
of
Mr. Witness, what relation does this joint circular have to the joint circular that you mentioned na basihan ng inyong audit, post-audit?
Ito po yung same joint circular po na basehan po ng aming audit sa ICPAO.
Okay. Bakit tinatawag ito na joint circular?
Pinatawag po itong joint circular dahil ito po ay resulta ng joint efforts ng Commission on Audit, ng Department of Interior and Local Government, ng Department of the Budget and Management, ng Department of the National Defense at ng Governance Commission for GOCCs.
So ito ay 5 government agencies, tama? And since when naging basihan ito ng mga post-audit ng national government agencies?
Naging basehan po ito ng audit ng ICPAO sa confidential and intelligence funds ng various government agencies noong January 8, 2015 rather, nung na-approve po ito.
Mr. Witness, ikaw ay familiar sa joint circular na to?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I show you Section 4.8, being flashed on the screen, Your Honors, with the permission of the presiding justice. Sa Section 4.8 na nakikita natin sa screen, ano-ano, what kind of confidential expenses can be incurred using confidential funds?
Under item 4.8 po of the of the Joint Circular 2015-01, the confidential fund shall be used only for the following confidential expenses. Una po, yung purchase of information necessary for the formulation and
Ano
implementation
pa?
of...
Dahan-dahan natin. Unang-una, 4.8. Anong una?
Ang una po ay yung purchase of information necessary for the formulation and implementation of program, activities, and projects relevant to the national security and peace and order.
Being flashed on the screen, Your Honor, is the pertinent provision cited. Pangalawa, ano pa ang examples ng confidential funds or kung ano ang pwedeng paggamitan ng confidential funds?
Pangalawa po ay yung rental of transport vehicle related to confidential activities.
Also being flashed on the screen for easy reference. Pangatlo, ano pa?
Pangatlo po, yung rentals and the incidental expenses related to the maintenance of safe houses.
What else, Mr. Witness?
Pang-apat po, yung purchase or rental of supplies, materials, and equipment for confidential operations that cannot be done through regular procedures without compromising the information gathering activity concerned.
What else, Mr. Witness? Ano pa?
Panglima po, yung payment of rewards to informers who must not be employees of the concerned government agency, subject to 3 conditions. First is yung approval by the head of the agency. Second, it must be supported with documents evidencing the success of the information gathering and or surveillance activities on account of the information given by the informer. Pangatlo, it must be directly related to the conduct of the specific confidential activities of authorized agencies.
For purposes of the records, Your Honor, the witness cited 4.8.1 up to 4.8.7 of the Joint Circular 2015.
Hanggang 4.8.5 pa lang po.
Okay. Sorry. What else, Mr. Witness?
Pang-anim po is to uncover or prevent illegal activities that pose a clear and present danger to the agency personnel or property or other facilities and resources under the agency protection done in coordination with the appropriate law enforcement agencies. And last po, yung others that may be authorized by the GAA or other special laws.
Okay. 4.8.1 up to 4.8.7. Up ang refer po ng ating witness of Section 4.8 of the Joint Circular. Base rin sa Joint Circular na to, ano naman kung merong mga pwede, ano naman ang mga hindi pwede, yung mga bawal na confidential alleged confidential expenses.
Under 4.11 po, may specific expenses po na enumerate na hindi pwedeng paggamitan ng confidential fund. Una po, yung salaries, wages, overtime, additional compensation, allowance, or other fringe benefits of officials and employees who are employed by the government in whatever capacity or elected officials except when authorized by law. Pangalawa, yung representation, consultative fees or entertainment expenses. At pangatlo, yung construction or acquisition of buildings or housing structures.
For the record, Your Honor, reference is made to 4.11.1 up to .2 and as well as .3. Mr. Witness, sa pag-interpret, when you interpret these regulations and this joint circular and sections that you mentioned, what terms of compliance are you thinking about? Ito ba ay substantial compliance or strict compliance?
Strict compliance po, Madam.
Bakit, Mr. Witness? Why do you follow strict compliance instead of substantial compliance?
We follow po strict compliance since what is involved po ay public funds. So dapat strict yung accounting and auditing rules to prevent yung misuse ng fund.
At and this this is expressly stated in the joint circular. What you said, strict compliance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, 9 years ka, you said, sa COA ICFAO.
With the permission of counsel, Mr. Witness, it is mentioned in the JMC that it should be strictly interpreted, and you said it's in the JMC. Where?
Sa last paragraph po ng 1.0, Your Honor.
Last paragraph ng 1.0. So in the rationale.
Yes po, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may proceed, counsel.
Now, Mr. Witness, you mentioned earlier na 9 years ka na with the COA ICFAO at meron kang mention that you post-audited certain government agencies. During your term, what years were you, incidentally, with the COA ICFAO?
I was with the COA ICPAO po from September 2014 until February of 2024.
In this period of time, from 2014 to 2024, could you tell us how many vice presidents have you audited?
Ang tanging nung time lang po ni Vice Presidente Sara Duterte.
But there were 3. Who were the vice presidents during this period?
Ang naging mga Vice Presidente po since I assumed with ICPAO in 2014 ay si dating Vice President Binay at si dating Vice President Leni Robredo at yung ating incumbent Vice President po na si Sara Duterte.
So 3 vice president, Vice President Binay, Vice President Robredo, at Vice President Sara Duterte. Sino-sino sa kanila ang in-audit mo tungkol sa confidential funds?
Ang buhat po nung nag-assume ako nung 2014, tanging si Vice Presidente Sara Duterte lang po yung aking na-audit na may
Bakit,
confidential fund.
Bakit, Mr. Witness? Bakit Vice President Sara Duterte lang ang in-audit mo ng confidential funds?
Dahil po, since nung nag-assume po ako ng 2014 sa ICPAO, wala pong naging appropriation for confidential funds si dating Vice President Binay at si dating Vice President Robredo. Tanging si Vice President Sara Duterte lang po yung nagkaroon ng appropriation for the confidential funds.
And in the same period of time, 2014 to 2024, kasama ba sa mga national agencies na minention mo ang Department of Education?
Yes, ma'am.
And during this period, 2014 to 2024, sino-sino ang mga secretaries ng Department of Education?
Sa pagkakaalala ko po, ang mga naging DepEd secretaries po ay sina dating Secretary Luistro, dating Secretary Briones at ang ating Vice Presidente in her concurrent capacity as the DepEd Secretary during that time po.
At sino sa 3 ito? Sino-sino sa mga secretary ng DepEd ang in-audit mo for confidential funds?
Tanging si Vice Presidente Sara Duterte lang po as the DepEd Secretary.
Bakit, Mr. Witness?
Dahil siya lang po yung naging DepEd Secretary na nagkaroon ng confidential funds ang DepEd.
And could you tell us how much was the confidential funds of the Vice President that you said you audited?
May I-clarify po kung anong office po yung tinutukoy niya.
Office of the Vice President.
Sa Office of the Vice President po, ang kanilang naging confidential fund ay from the fourth quarter of 2022 until third quarter of 2023 ay 125 million pesos per quarter. So ang total po nun ay 500 million pesos.
Magkano naman ang confidential funds na in-audit mo sa DepEd, Department of Education?
Ang in-audit ko naman po sa Department of Education, since ang kanilang cash advances ay from the first quarter of 2023 until the third quarter of 2023, at meron silang 37.5 million pesos quarterly cash advances. So ang naging total po nun ay 112.5 million pesos.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Ngayon, you said that you conducted the post-audit of both offices. Pag nagko-conduct ng post-audit, ano ang rini-require na documents para sa confidential funds?
Ang nire-require po namin na documents ay yung mga requirements as provided under the Joint Circular 2015-01 o yung mga tinatawag na liquidation documents po.
Ano-ano ang mga liquidation documents na to?
Based on the Joint Circular po, yung mga liquidation documents na yun ay yung kanilang liquidation reports, yung disbursement voucher na ginamit nila, yung land bank checks, yung obligation request, yung kanilang physical and financial plan, yung kanilang accomplishment reports po, and yung proof of submission noon to the Office of the President, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House, yung certification of the accountable officers on the utilization of the confidential fund, yung designation po ng special disbursing officer kapag hindi si head of agency yung magiging disbursing officer, yung fidelity bond ng accountable officers at yung kanilang specimen signatures po.
Okay. Your Honor, please, these liquidation documents submitted by the Office of the Vice President and the DepEd are among the stipulated documents of the counsel for the respondent, Your Honor. But for easy reference, may we also ask permission to flash them on the screen for the better appreciation of the senator judges. And may I
Counsel?
ask, I'm sorry.
Please proceed.
And may I ask Attorney Peña to please show these documents to our witness for purposes of comparison.
Assisting counsel may approach the witness. Likewise,
the respondent.
assisting counsel for the respondent.
Thank you.
If they so wish, this is for the information of the senator judges, given that the documents stipulated earlier were merely enumerated so that the senator judges may be appraised of the documents that have already been admitted to and stipulated to by both parties. Counsel may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Since stipulated, there's no need really to compare. But I am showing now to you, and this is being flashed on the screen with the kind permission of presiding judge, a copy of a fiscal financial plan approved on December 13, 2022, marked as Exhibit P-1-14 for the prosecution.
And likewise, for the record, on the part of the defense, marked as D-1-23-OVP.
That's
Yes,
correct,
sir.
Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will the witness please respond?
Okay. Sa bottom portion, give me a look. Sa bottom portion, there appears a signature under the words. Meron pong signature sa words. Approved by. There. Anong ibig sabihin ng approved by?
Ang ibig sabihin po ng approve by ay inapprove po noong nakapirma yung contents ng physical and financial plan po based on that document.
Okay. At sinabi mo, approved by ay inapprove. Kung sino man ang nakalagay na signature dyan. Kaninong signature naman ang nasa bottom portion ng ating Exhibit -1-14?
Kay Vice Presidente Sara Duterte po.
Why are you familiar? Bakit mo kilala? Bakit mo alam ang signature ni Vice President Duterte?
Dahil among their submissions po ay yung kanilang specimen signatures at kasama po doon yung specimen signature po ni Vice President. At yung kanyang pirma po doon sa specimen signature submitted ay kaparehas po ng pirma niya dito sa physical and financial plan na ito.
Pinakita sa iyo ang isang physical financial plan which you said is a faithful reproduction of the submissions. And this is now being shown on the screen. Ano ang observations mo dito sa physical and financial plan approved on December 13, 2022?
Hindi po siya compliant to the joint circular dahil yung first column, which is the programs, activities, and projects, hindi po indicate nung OBP yung kanilang specific confidential activities na kanilang paggagamitan ng confidential fund as required under item 4.2 of the joint circular.
Hindi ito specific according to you and according to 4.2 of the joint circular. Can you please enlighten us? Ano itong section 4.2 ng joint circular?
Under item 4.2 po ng joint circular, all requests or allocations for CF must be supported with a physical and financial plan which must indicate the proposed amount allocated for each program and activity dahil ito po yung magiging basis for the disbursement ng kanilang confidential fund.
At yung mga sinabi mo, nakikita ba dyan sa dokumentong yan?
Wala, based po on this submitted physical and financial plan, hindi po nakikita rito yung kanilang specific confidential activities na kanilang pagbabasihan sa kanilang disbursement.
Apart from this, yung nakita mo sa column 1, ano pang ibang observations ang masasabi mo dito sa dokumentong ito?
Since yung columns for the expected outcome as well as yung column for the physical target mas match po yung specific confidential activities. So hindi rin po nakamatch or hindi rin compliant yung columns po as mentioned.
At bakit? Why do you say na hindi compliant na rin to sa joint circular?
Dahil po since hindi naman in-indicate po dito ni Office of the Vice President yung kanilang specific confidential activities, so hindi po na-match based on the information as presented po sa document na ito, yung laman ng expected outcome at yung physical target doon sa kanilang specific confidential activities.
And as you stated, what express provision of the joint circular does this violate?
The item 4.2 po of the joint circular
4.2 na
2015-01.
pinakita natin sa screen. Okay. Our next document, Mr. Witness, which we shall show you, is now a certified true copy of Land Bank of the Philippines check number 00002444027, dated December 20, 2022, Exhibit P-1-11-A, Common Exhibit of the defense as well. Likewise being flashed on the screen, Your Honor. Mr. Witness, what is the significance? Ano ang significance ng check na pinapakita na to in relation to your audit of the Office of the Vice President's confidential funds?
Ang significance po ng cheque ay ito po yung proof na pwede na nilang i-withdraw yung kanilang cash advance.
Okay. Na pwedeng i-withdraw na yung cash advance. Ngayon naman, punta tayo sa another document. I will show you now a disbursement voucher dated December 20, 2022. Again, common exhibit. For the prosecution, this is Exhibit P-1-10-A. For the period December 20, 2022. In the middle of this document, pointer. In the middle of this document, there appears a signature under the words, quote, certified expense, cash advance necessary, lawful, and incurred under my direct supervision and control. Okay. Anong ibig sabihin itong certified expense under my direct supervision?
Your Honors,
What is
kindly,
the
we would
pleasure
like
of
to object on
counsel
that
for
one.
the respondent?
Your Honors, that calls for a conclusion of law.
I'm
Based
sorry,
on the,
counsel?
That will call for a conclusion of law on the part of the witness, Your Honor. They're asking for what that means for the witness.
Only insofar as how the witness interprets this provision, given that he audited these documents and are part of the submission. Witness may answer.
Based on this disbursement voucher po, sinertify po ni Vice President na yung kanilang cash advance ay kailangan naayon sa batas at na-incur po under her direct supervision.
And there is a signature here in this document. Whose signature is this, if you know?
May I clarify po kung anong signature po yung tinutukoy? Ayong sa
Above the name, Sara Z. Duterte.
That is the signature po of the Vice President Sara Duterte.
What else, if any, observation can you make as regards this document?
Under the particulars portion po, nakalagay na yung cash advance is for calendar year 2022, which is not compliant po with the joint circular. Since under the joint circular po, the disbursement voucher shall state the duration of the implementation of the project. Pero since this cash advance is for the fourth quarter 2022, so hindi po tama yung nakalagay dito na yung cash advance is for the calendar year 2022.
At ano naman again? Ano ang violation nito sa joint circular?
May I refer po to the joint circular, Your Honor, for the specific provision?
Witness may refer to the joint circular previously marked.
The specific provision po is the second sentence po ng item 6.1.5 of the joint circular 2015-01.
Being flashed on the screen, Your Honor, presiding officer, with your kind permission.
You may do so, Counsel.
Can you read for the record 6.1.5?
6.1.5 of the joint circular, cash advances shall be limited to the requirements for 3 months. The disbursement voucher shall clearly state the duration of implementation of the projects. If the implementation of the project will extend to more than 3 months, additional amount may be granted only after the liquidation of the previous cash advance. If, on the other hand, cash advances are drawn monthly, liquidation shall be done monthly. Cash advances shall be granted only upon the certification of the agency accountant stamped or printed on the disbursement voucher that previous cash advance for the same purpose, project, or activity given to the SDO requesting cash advance has been liquidated and proper accounting thereof was made in accordance with this joint circular.
Okay. Ngayon naman, I will show you, kasi liquidation ang pinag-uusapan. I will show you a liquidation report dated January 10, 2023. Again, common exhibit. This is prosecution's exhibit P-1-9-A. A liquidation report dated January 10, 2023. In the middle of this document, by the bottom, there appears a signature under the words, certified purpose of travel cash advance duly accomplished. Mr. Witness. And this certification,
Counsel, just to correct you, certified purpose of cash advance duly accomplished. There's no word travel.
yes, Your Honor.
Do you confirm, Counsel? You may
Yes,
proceed.
Your Honor. Certified purpose of travel cash advance
Of cash advance.
of cash advance duly accomplished.
Yes. You may
Thank you
proceed,
for
Counsel.
thank you for the correction, Your Honor. What does this mean in terms of your audit?
This means po na sinertify po ni Vice President na yung layunin ng cash advance ay kanilang na-accomplish.
And you said the Vice President, whose signature is that?
That is the signature po of the Vice President Sara Duterte.
What is the significance of her signature to this document, if any?
Ang significance po nung kanyang pirma dito ay kanya nga pong sinertify na yung purpose po nung kanilang cash advance from the confidential fund ay na-accomplish po ng agency.
And what are your observations? Ano ang mga observations mo, if any, sa dokumentong ito?
Actually, it is one of the proforma annexes po nung Joint Circular 2015-01. Siguro ang napansin ko lang dito ay yung period covered na December 21 to 31, 2022 since the cash advance was supposedly for the fourth quarter of the 2022 of the OBP. Pero other than that naman po, this document is compliant naman po with the requirement of the Joint Circular 2015-01.
Again, para maintindihan namin, sabi mo, ang na-observe mo, yung period. Yung period, Mr. Witness. Anong period covered dito?
Based on this liquidation report po, ang period covered ay December 21 to 31, 2022.
What is the significance? Bakit mo napansin itong period na to?
Napansin ko lang naman po yun kasi yung kanilang cash advance based on the fiscal and financial plan po supposedly is for the whole fourth quarter of 2022. Pero based on this document po, na-disburse lang siya from December 21 to 31, 2022 or around 11 days.
Okay. Sinabi mo, whole quarter of 2022. September, November, October, sandali. Can you enlighten me anong quarter dapat yun? October, November, December. Ang
Yes.
sinasabi mong 3 quarters.
3 months po.
3 months for the fourth quarter. Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
3 months for the fourth quarter, pero sabi mo ang ginastos na funds. Magkano ang ginastos na funds?
Based on the documents po submitted, 125 million pesos po.
In these 3 quarters? 3 months?
Based on the document po, it was supposed to be spent for the fourth quarter of 2022. So 3 months po, supposedly. Based on
Bakit
their physical.
supposedly, Mr. Witness?
Dahil yun po yung supposed coverage ng kanilang cash advance for their confidential activities.
At sinabi mo kanina, 11 days ito ginastos. Tama?
Based on the document, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, I'm showing to you now another document which is an accomplishment report previously marked as Prosecution's Exhibit P-1-7-A-I. Again, stipulated document, common document with the defense. What relation does this have? No. We request permission to have it flashed on the screen as well.
You may do so, counsel. Clerk of court is so directed.
Can you repeat the question po, ma'am?
Now, look at the screen and look at your document. What is the relationship of this accomplishment report that I am showing you in relation to those documents submitted by the Office of the Vice President?
This is the same accomplishment report po na sinamit ni Office of the Vice President sa ICFAO.
Okay. And there appears here in this document under the words approved by. Whose signature is this?
It is the signature po of the Vice President Sara Duterte.
And the annotation approved by, in terms of your audit, what does this signify, if any?
It signifies po that the signatory or the Vice President approved the contents of this accomplishment report.
No. In relation to this particular document, what observations, ano-ano ang napansin mo sa dokumentong ito?
Napansin ko po na hindi po in-enumerate ng Office of the Vice President yung kanilang specific confidential activities na kanilang ginawa.
Kailangan bang enumerate yan? Mga
Yes, ma'am.
activities na yan.
Dahil-
Bakit, Mr. Witness?
Doon po kasi namin tinitignan sa audit ng ICFAO kung yung kanilang confidential expenses or activities ay compliant doon sa item 4.8 ng Joint Circular 2015-01 para malaman po namin kung yung kanilang expenses ay among the allowable expenses as provided under the Joint Circular 2015-01.
So what basis did you have to determine if these were allowable expenses kung wala naman dokumento?
Katulad nga po nung sinabi ko, ang basis namin to determine if allowable expenses ay yung item 4.8 of the Joint Circular 2015-01.
Now, I'm now showing to you a certified copy of the Office of the Vice President certification dated January 10, 2022, notarized on January 16, 2023. Prosecution's Exhibit P-1.6-A, likewise a common exhibit with the defense previously stipulated, being flashed on the screen with the kind permission of this court.
Counsel may do so.
Dito sa baba, may pirma sa ilalim ng mga salitang attested. Kaninong signature itong nakikita natin dito?
Ito po ay signature ni Vice Presidente Sara Duterte.
At anong ibig sabihin under your circular ng attested?
Ang ibig sabihin po ng attested ay kanyang kino-confirm at bine-verify na yung contents ng certification na ito ay totoo.
What other observations? Ano pa ang mga na-observe mo sa dokumentong ito?
Ang napansin ko po dito yung date of execution ng certification, January 10, 2022.
Ano pa? January 10, 2022. Why is this significant?
Because it is supposedly the date of the execution ng certification, pero yung kanilang cash advance ay for the fourth quarter of 2022.
Yung cash advance nila ay para sa anong period?
For the fourth quarter po of 2022.
Pero ang certification ay January 10, 2022.
Yes po, based on this document po.
And based on this document, when was it notarized?
It was notarized po on January 16, 2023.
2023. Okay. Ano naman? In your observation, what provision of the joint circular does this certification violate? If you
Actually, ito po yung isa sa proforma annexes ng joint circular. So, wala naman po kaming nakitang violation aside from the date of the execution.
No. So yung sinasabi mo, nakikita dito, yung discrepancy ng mga dates.
Based on this document po, yes ma'am, may discrepancy yung dates.
Okay. Now, dahil dyan, what action did you take, if any?
After what po ma'am?
After itong nakikita mong certification,
I mean, for the whole liquidation documents na sinamit ng OBP. Pero dito po, wala po kaming naging particular finding dito. Sinasabi ko nga po, it is one of the annexes po under the Joint Circular 2015-01 and they submitted naman po yung certification as required.
okay.